So which individuals in Donald Trump's family, businesses, and campaign had prior ties or ties during the election to Russia and Russian government officials? Well, do you have a couple hours? Actually, let's start with General Michael Flynn. General Flynn in 2015, when Donald Trump was a candidate in the Republican primary, traveled over to Russia, sat at a dinner table next to Vladimir Putin, paid for by Russia Today, who our intelligence agencies have concluded is a broadcasting company connected to Russia's intelligence services. Michael Flynn didn't tell anybody he was supposed to tell about this, denied that these contacts existed. And then, after Russia hacked into our election and President Obama put sanctions on Russia for doing so, it's reported that General Flynn made several phone calls to Russia's ambassador, Sergei Kislyak. And what did Russia do after those phone calls were made? Instead of retaliating against the United States, they did nothing. There are reports out there that General Flynn assured the ambassador, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the sanctions that are placed on you, which would explain why they did nothing. And then, of course, General Flynn lied about this conversation with Ambassador Kislyak to Vice President Pence and was the first significant person to leave the Trump administration. We also have then Senator Jeff Sessions. During his confirmation hearings to be Attorney General, Senator Sessions was asked a number of times by a number of different senators, did you have any prior contacts with the Russians? Senator Sessions failed to disclose this, and then we later learned that just like General Flynn, Senator Sessions had also been speaking a number of times to Ambassador Kislyak. Now you have one of the president's family members, Don Jr. Don Jr., years before the campaign started, made a public statement that the Trump organization was seeing millions and millions of dollars being invested by Russians. In fact, he said that most of their money that was coming into the organization was coming from Russians. But what's significant about Don Jr. during the campaign? It's a date that we'll all remember. June 9th, 2016. Shows up to a meeting at Trump Tower, arranged under an email subject line, Clinton, Russia, private, confidential. The email was sent to Don Jr. by someone who said he had connections with Russians who could provide dirt on Hillary Clinton. Don Jr.? He said, I love it. I love it. We'd love to have dirt on Hillary Clinton. Showing in writing a willingness and an eagerness to work with Russians to beat their political opponent. The president's son-in-law and senior advisor to solve all the problems in the world. Mr. Kushner, you see, was also in the June 9th meeting, the Clinton-Russia private confidential meeting where dirt would be offered on Hillary Clinton. But Jared Kushner also, when he joined the White House, failed to disclose a number of contacts that he had had with Russians before the election, and during the transition period, he met with a sanctioned Russian bank. There are a lot of questions to answer around Jared Kushner. And on that June 9th meeting, Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort, a part of the team trying to get the goods, the dirt on Hillary Clinton, he was working as the campaign chairman at the time. He's recently been indicted. Multiple counts of money laundering, also for conspiracy against the United States, as well as his business partner and Trump campaign aide, Rick Gates. Also indicted and has pleaded guilty, a former senior foreign policy advisor, someone that Donald Trump called an excellent guy, George Papadopoulos. He pled guilty because he was confronted by the FBI about meetings that he had with the Russians in April and during the summer of 2016. He lied to them. They came back. He lied again. And finally, they confronted him with all the evidence, and he gave them the truth. He was flying over to London and Italy, and he was meeting with professors who were working as cutouts for the Russian government, and he too was being offered dirt on Hillary Clinton. And he too was trying to set up a meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. And now that's significant because we heard this through so many other individuals. So what do these all individuals have in common? They had a lot of contacts with the Russians, some of them for years before the campaign occurred. Some of them were traveling over to Russia during the campaign. Some of them were traveling abroad to meet with Russians during the campaign. But here's something every single one of them has in common. They failed to disclose these contacts. When they were asked about them, they suddenly had this Russian amnesia, where none of them could recall meeting with Ambassador Kislyak or individuals abroad. And they are only acknowledging them once confronted by either press reporting or congressional investigations that are ongoing. While you're trying to get votes and talk to Americans about your agenda and what you believe in, why are they spending so much time talking to Russians? Again, maybe it's just a coincidence. Or was it a convergence with a concerted effort that Russia, ordered by its president, had to undermine and interfere with the outcome of the 2016 election?